Angry guy here, and men are abandoning society and isolating themselves in their homes. Men are abandoning society and isolating themselves in their homes. Now, this is a pretty interesting subject. However, I thought it was important that we discussed it. I've got a comment on one of my videos, and it's quite intriguing. Let's go ahead and have a look at this comment. It said, I'm 6'3", weigh 350 pounds, and am 34 years old. I have struggled to get in shape and have epically failed. I tried to get into the gym, but something never clicked. I never got that stress relief from a workout. Turns out that it was anxiety from women at the gym. Now that there are women creating thirst traps and me too, I just don't want to be in the gym, which is why I have invested $2,500 to build a home gym in my living room, waiting on my equipment. And I find it pretty intriguing because women have created this reality where men no longer want to interact. They no longer want to go out in public. They no longer want to go to spaces that are both cohabited with men and women. Western women, women in Western society, have driven men to isolation. They have driven them to the point where they no longer want to interact in society. They no longer want to speak. They no longer want to have relationships. They no longer want to take chances. They no longer want to approach or be approached. They don't want to be bothered anymore. They're building their own home gyms. They're grilling their food at home. They're working remote jobs. 30 million men have dropped out of the workforce entirely. 30 million men between the ages of 25 and 54 have dropped out of the workforce. They are not working, not on the books, and they are literally avoiding connections, relationships, marriage, everything. They're getting lots of sleep. They're playing lots of video games and they're living happier, healthier lives in seclusion. This is not something that is good for society because men pay the majority of all taxes. So if men stop working, if men stop putting in those extra shifts, tax revenue goes down. And what does the government have to do? The government has to print more money. So they're going to print more money. And what does that do with inflation? It's just going to cause inflation to go up even more because that money is not tied to any actual value because men are not creating said value. And it's only going to cause the prices to go up more for everything. Women are crying on social media, and many of them are pretending like they're boss babes, but these are all women living off the simp economy. All of these women have to have men subsidizing their living one way or another. One way or another, men are subsidizing the living of women because they cannot afford to survive on their own. And when they turn to the government for aid, men pay the majority of all taxes, so men are still subsidizing their living. But even with government help, it's still not enough. And the thing is that we already know how public assistance works. You get just enough to survive, but not enough to thrive. Section 8 vouchers and spaces in public assistance housing, they're very hard to come by. It's called a lottery for a reason, because you have to win one. And it could take years, many, many years just to get that. A UBI is undoubtedly coming. And when it does come, it's not going to help society. It's only going to make society worse. The future for women are living in poverty and increased rates of destitution because men are no longer subsidizing their living. Men are walking away. Men are isolating. And women don't know how to compete for men. They don't in Western society. They can't compete with foreign women. Foreign women are rascals, essentially, when it comes to competition. These women are raised to compete for men, to cook, to clean, to take care of, raise children. This is what they were born for. Don't get me wrong. A lot of these women do still work. They do still have lives out of the home, but they have a completely different set of skills to fall back on. Cleaning and cooking are second nature for them. Raising children, that's second nature for them. These are things that they learned how to do growing up. So they will always be able to fall back on this. And, as Soraya has talked about in some videos, she's mentioned that foreign women will compete for men. And because foreign women know how to compete for men, they know what to say, they know what to do, they know how to attract a man, they know how to keep a man. Modern women don't know these things and they don't have these skill sets. For modern women cannot, and this is the truth, a modern woman in Western society cannot compete with a foreign woman. They can't. No amount of trying to learn about men and these things, it won't work because none of these things come natural to these women. Women in Western society, they took the feminist pill. They drank too much of the Kool-Aid. There's no coming back for them. There's no coming back from that because it's a part of who they are. They internally resent men. They don't like us. They do not like us. They do not want us around. They blame us for everything, and they see themselves as continuous victims. There's no way of repairing that relationship. There's zero possibility of repairing it. To make matters worse, many of these women have very high body counts. And as a result of that, they can never pair bond. There have been studies done that show that after a woman has something like 20 bodies, that's pretty much it. The chances of her ever pair bonding relatively goes down to zero. And we can see that in many cases when you look at stories from people like Riley Reid and Mia Khalifa and a number of others who they cannot pair bond. They've been through multiple marriages, and those marriages don't last. And the crazy thing is that as they get older, it just gets more and more difficult, and their minds start to go, and they think that it's a joke. They think it's a game until it isn't funny anymore. No one's laughing, and it's literally overwhelming for them. But they have no one to turn to. A lot of women right now are making videos online. Of course, they're doing it for attention, but there's some truth to it. A lot of women are making videos saying that they have no friends. They have no friends, and most of their contacts, it's all online. Most women today are living their lives entirely online, like their minds exist online, and that's why they constantly feel like they're being bombarded with attention from men, when in reality, they are almost never approached by men in society. Like when most women go through life today, never being approached by men, never having a man have a conversation with them. Women will go for years now, and no guy will ever speak to them. And then they go home, or rather, I shouldn't even say go home. They just open up Instagram, and there's a ton of guys in their Instagram. And that makes them feel like all the men around them are looking at them. All the men around them desire them. All the men around them want to speak to them. All the men around them want to have a relationship with them. When in reality, none of that's true. The men don't even notice them. The men are just going about their daily lives. They were told, never speak to a woman that you don't know. So the men have listened. They're not speaking to these women. They're walking away. And now the gym, the last place where men could go to just work on themselves and let off stress, that's been taken away. And we can see that gyms are now banning women, who record in these gyms. But it's not enough because the women don't care. You can ban them all you want. You can do whatever it takes. The women don't care. It's like they're on a rampage, and it's completely unstoppable. If you look at how women behave when they come in contact with law enforcement, and don't get me wrong, if police officers act wrongfully towards someone, they should be dealt with. It's not acceptable. But in many cases, modern day women, They believe that they're above the law. They believe they can do whatever they want to do, say whatever they want to say, disrespect whoever they want to disrespect, and there are no social repercussions for doing this. And as men, you have to realize that it's nothing lasts forever. If they will do this with a police officer, they'll do worse with you. Guys, what do you think regarding all of this? I want to know your thoughts. If you're enjoying this content, please help get this channel to 100,000 subscribers on our journey to 2 million by subscribing to the channel if you already haven't, liking the video, and turning on notifications to never miss another video ever again. Men are abandoning society and isolating themselves in their homes. What do you guys think regarding this? Let me know your thoughts in the comments and we'll talk about it there. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away, and cheers.